She's showing me that you had the babies in a hospital, both of them, right? At least the second one, right? And
Yeah,
it
both.
like there was, it feels like your mom came in. It feels like there was other family there to greet the kids or the new baby. And she's telling me you wish that she had been there. All right, so I definitely have a grandmother here. I have a grandfather here. Or do you understand a grandfather passing on either side of the family?
Yeah.
All right. I understand a grandfather who would be married to a grandmother who would have passed recently, somewhat recently.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they're both here. What I'm understanding is this is a grandmother who passed, I would say, within 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. They're showing me their house. Concrete. This is concrete steps out the front. There's an awning over it. Just understand a metal railing on one or both sides.
Yes.
It's not a long porch. It's like just a porch straight out the front steps, big enough for maybe 2, 3 people, railings on both sides, the awning. He's showing me this is where he lived with
Yes.
your grandmother. It feels like he passed before your grandmother. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Would you understand your grandfather or someone around him being a smoker?
Yes.
Now, he also makes me feel that perhaps toward the end, this man had some kind of trouble walking or was slower.
Yes.
He's referenced both the lungs and the heart. And I feel like I'm seeing tubes in the nose. I'm getting a cancer reference and I'm getting something about lungs.
Yes.
Okay. For your grandfather.
Yes.
And he is showing me an IV bag. It feels that he would have been in the hospital at some point. He's also showing me your mother, that your mother would have visited in the hospital. Do you understand that piece?
Yes.
Yeah, because I see your mom there. And I think that feels significant to me because this is your paternal side. And yet your mother definitely, feels
Yes.
like they were a close part of each other's lives. This was a family that spent time together. I feel that they lived it feels like they were close enough to see you quite often. It feels to me that they lived not too far away.
Yes.
It's really interesting that your dad does feel he feels a little further away from you. Do you understand some friction between your father and his parents?
Yes.
Your grandfather referencing the divorce between these two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sensing that there wasn't a complete understanding about this from his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like your grandparents had a respect for your mom and understood, and almost if they would have had to, for lack of a better word, sided with her on this piece.
Yes.
It feels like this divorce came much more from your father than your mom, that he chose some other coping skills for sure.
Yes.
And I get an acknowledgement for you from your grandfather, and your grandmother is standing back here. I get this sense from her that she wants to nudge her way in because she's just jumping in and kind of overlapping what your grandfather's trying to say right now. And she's saying, can I get in here for 1 sec? She really feels like the kind of person who wants to compete for having the last word, being in the conversation. She is, just showing me vast love for you. It feels that this grandmother just was crazy about you, crazy about your sister. Both of you were a really important part of her life. She had a great sense of humor. She didn't like to worry about things too much. I get kind of a c'est la vie approach from her where I feel like she could get angry about things and she'd be fiery, like she had her opinions about things. But I also feel like she didn't want to waste her life worrying about too many things. And that was kind of her stance. And she makes me want to say to you that spirit that she had of, despite hardships, really feeling into the gratitude for the things that aren't good and not taking too many things too seriously. And she sends the acknowledgement. Yep, I know you think there's some things I should have taken more seriously, like the way that I passed. But at the end of the day, this was my time and nothing would have made a difference. I would have had to go. It would have been that, or it would have been something else. You understand? So I am just as powerful there as I ever was here. And in fact, I'm maybe even more powerful for the two of you based on what you're sharing right now. To be able to speak to you in this way is in some moments even more powerful because she feels like you can hear her better now and you can kind of see who she was and why she was the way she was, especially about her passing. Okay. And she just has to show you that. She says really is showing love about your kids or kids. I feel like there's more than one. Does that make sense to you? So more than
There's
one
2.
kid? Yeah, so she's
Yeah.
showing me 2, and she's just saying, like, "I'm crazy about him, I love him." I almost wonder if she met one, but not the other, or she knew. Yes, okay, so she's saying that, like, "I know I wasn't there for the second one, I know that means so much for you, but I was there for the second one." She's showing me that you had the babies in a hospital, both of them, right? At least the second one, right? And
Yeah, both.
like there was, it feels like your mom came in, it feels like there was other family there to greet the kids or the new baby. And it felt like I almost see you in this moment. She's telling me you wish that she had been there. And you were
Mm.
thinking of her when the second baby was born, right? And you wish
Yeah.
she was there. And she's saying she was there. I feel her stepping back. She understands that you haven't heard from Grandpa, and so, but I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. I had to tell you, and that's just how she is. These grandparents, I feel like I want to say to you, it's not the same when we're not holding or when we can't pick them up, when we can't be there with the kids. I know it's not the same. But if you just know that you don't need a medium to be able to connect with us. Now she's bringing up your children's connection to them in spirit. Now it does feel like the kids
Oh,
are quite young to me. Okay. So I feel like you have one that's under 3. Does that make sense to you? Okay. And then the other one feels like they're around 5.
she's almost 4.
Okay, gotcha. They talk about grandma a lot. Yeah. And how they remember her. Your grandparents are telling me that you feel the heaviness of them not being here in body, but your kids, they don't carry that around. I just see your 4-year-old noticing birds. That's something really interesting that they really connect through. You understand what I'm talking
Yes.
about? She
Yes.
notices birds. Now, it may not be that she knows that's a sign from these 2, but when she's noticing birds and you feel like your eyes drawn or your mind is drawn, that's them. And this is a big message about really being here in spirit. So your grandfather is really stepping forward right now. And he is showing me a young boy. Would you understand your grandparents wanting to talk about a young boy who may be living? Does that make sense to you? A brother energy?
Yes.
Okay. So this would be your brother.
Yes.
So they're bringing him up. He's still living. I can definitely feel that. I almost feel like there's this paternal connection between them. The role that I got to be as a grandfather for your brother was really important to me. That role was important too because of your brother's dad. Why am I saying your brother's dad instead of your dad? Did you understand some kind of half sibling within the family?
He's my half brother.
Okay. I'm feeling like there's distance between you and your half brother. Um,
Yes.
So this feels like somebody who is not a really close part of your life. And I don't feel that he has a close connection to the girls either. Is it 2 girls?
No.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. This at some point in time felt like a big loss in terms of your brother to you. That's what I want to say
Yes.
to you. And that there's a lot of heartbreak around this because it doesn't feel like it's a welcome area for you to reach out and try to rekindle that relationship right now at all.
No.
I am getting a reference to alcoholism somewhere in the family. Does this make
Yes.
sense to you? All right. Now, uncle?
Yes.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. This makes me feel like there's a lot of family here. This is a big family. And I'm feeling like this has to do with some men in the family, that there's some distance and some lost connections.
Yes.
But I want to say, like, these relationships are not easy, but you can find peace within yourself. Forgiveness is huge. And now I feel like I want to talk about your dad.
Oh.
I want to talk to you about forgiveness and how the girls watch you forgive or not.
Wow.
What they learn from watching you love your father despite himself, forgive your father for your own benefit, for your family's benefit, will be so much richer without the burden that you carry about dad. There's an acknowledgement here for the man that you chose. And I want to say that your husband just loves these girls.
He
And
does.
I get this feeling that when they were alive, I know your grandmother knew this man. I feel like I want to joke with him as your grandmother. I feel like, but I also think that maybe there wasn't always a perfect understanding of who he was. But I feel that the understanding of who he is now is worth sending a huge acknowledgement for it. As you've given your daughters the gift of seeing a man who does things differently and who knows how to love better. Your half brother and your dad, as best you can, love them as they are. I'm going to let them go. I'm going to leave you with their love.
I had a feeling that my grandfather would come through. He and I were much closer, and I've been waiting to hear thoughts about my kids from them. The divorce, my mom was always invited in their home growing up. There was never any hostility between my dad's parents and my mom. She would come to any and everything, and they came to our house for stuff. Everything you said about my grandma was true, with her say la vie approach and how much love she had for us, how humorous she was. That was all true, spot on. She had a really big personality. She was a very kind person. My grandfather referencing my kids was amazing for me. He was a quiet man. He didn't say very much when he was alive. We knew he loved kids. He loved all of our kids.
Yeah.
In my adult life, I looked to them more as parental figures than my own actual parents. And it's funny that you mentioned my husband. I like that they touched on the fact that I have something different than what I was shown as a child, because I worked really hard for that.